Thank you, everybody, for joining us back here at aTyr Pharma's channel. We're sitting here once again with President, CEO, and Director of the company, Dr. Sanjay Shukla. And Doctor, you've been really busy lately. I know you were just in Barcelona. Give us the 411 there.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. It's been a real busy 4 to 6 weeks here at aTyr. At the beginning of September, you're right, I was in Barcelona for the European Respiratory Society meeting. This is one of the largest worldwide respiratory conferences that aTyr also has been spending a lot of time at, given that we work in fibrotic lung disease. This year was one of the first times in the last couple of years where a number of those worldwide respiratory experts got together after COVID. They've been obviously a lot of these conferences have been virtual, but we held a European investigator meeting for our trial, and we had 15 to 20 centers attend. The amount of interest in fibrotic lung disease is really cresting at these conferences. Therapies like asthma, COPD, less new therapies and less interest. We already have good drugs in those areas of airway disease. Now you look at lower airway disease and areas like fibrotic lung disease, where we're involved in. Tremendous amount of interest in the data that we produced last year in sarcoidosis, and now with this phase 3 trial, has us clearly positioned as the leading interstitial lung disease company. Maybe at this point compared to anybody else. We are in phase 3. Many of those other companies are at the discovery or preclinical stage. So standing room only at many of these sessions where fibrotic lung disease is a big problem. Climate change, pollution, industrialization is leading to more of these kinds of conditions. We have been fortunate that we have been able to advance a therapy with some really, really good data. And the big take home from the experts in Europe was they have not seen a therapy improve quality of life, improve lung function, while also removing steroids. We may be, one of the experts said to me from the UK, we might be the first therapy to demonstrate that in our last trial. So they're very, very excited to use it, not only in sarcoidosis, but now what we're also seeing is interest in other areas outside of sarcoidosis as well. So really effective travel to get our word out in Europe. And we expect to have a good 20-25 centers in Europe up and running really over the next several months.
Wow. Tell me what else has been going on, Sanjay. I know you guys have been really busy this past quarter. What's some other news recently?
Well, the biggest news with our trial is we dosed our first patient. So if you remember, just in Q2, the FDA gave us essentially a green light to move into this trial. Over the summer, we aligned with some other areas, Japan, other countries in Europe, where we also want to make sure everybody feels like they're on the same page. And from a regulatory perspective, aTyr, we feel like we've done a really, really good job of de-risking things, even with the worldwide regulators. We are finding a similar appetite to have a therapy that reduces steroids, whether you're talking to the US regulators, Japanese regulators, or European regulators. So we know we're really on to something. In addition, our data was, I think, such meaningful impact in quality of life and lung function improvement that you are seeing regulators now look at our drug and say, might it be effective in other adjacent lung diseases? Scleroderma is an autoimmune disease where many times those patients, the autoimmune disease, the systemic disease, affects your lungs. We were fortunate and frankly a little surprised that in September we also received a fast track designation for scleroderma related interstitial lung disease, even though we haven't studied any clinical data in that yet. Why did we get this designation? Well, we had that designation in August for sarcoidosis, largely built on the data that we produced in the last trial. But I also think that the magnitude of the effects you see there and the real dearth of new options for scleroderma patients, this compelled the agency to grant us a fast track designation. We also had a very, very effective animal model several years ago where Efzofitimod was tested in a sclerodermatous mouse model. So this mimics the scleroderma condition. And in that study, Efzofitimod showed the ability to not only improve lung inflammation, but in those mice, skin fibrosis was also ameliorated. So this
Wow.
is kind of what you deal with when you have scleroderma. You have a lot of skin symptoms, but you also have lung symptoms. So a real big win for us to kind of notch that fast track designation for not only sarcoidosis, but now also scleroderma. This in turn has led us to do more market analysis work. And
Mhm.
we now firmly believe that therapy is actually a larger opportunity from a commercial standpoint than we previously expected. Because we can move into this other condition now, scleroderma, in the future, it's clearly looking more like a $3 billion opportunity. And we vetted this with some market research work we did over the summer. Again, a therapy that can improve quality of life, improve lung function, and reduce steroids. Steroids are used in these other conditions as well, will be checking the box like no other therapy. And this is, I think, leading to people thinking that this could garner a premium price, therefore a larger market opportunity. And relatively speaking, our value of the company, if we can even get close or even half of that value, there's still tremendous upside for us when we think about the future.
Yeah, well said, doctor. Over the course of these interviews, we've talked about all the potential opportunities here, and it's really interesting to see other people now garnering that attention on it as well. And kind of turning things more recently, you guys just announced something new today about a research collaboration. Can you tell us more there?
So this is really exciting because it has to do with our pipeline and our IP. We had a large protein library that we plucked one of these fragments, and that's where we're seeing really, really good effects in lung disease. But if you remember, the company was built on this biology and this platform that takes fragments of these proteins that are in all of our bodies that help us modulate local immune environments. And we think now we have a pathway to develop more drugs faster through a collaboration that we announced today with a company called Dual Systems, which is in Switzerland. What Dual Systems has done for us already is uncovered another target receptor for another one of our proteinaceous fragments. And we put that out earlier in the summer. That is a receptor called fibroblast growth factor receptor, and it has implications to kidney and liver fibrotic diseases. So that could be another area for us to move forward. But because this technology is so advanced and this partner has this unique ability to draw out receptor targets, we announced a collaboration today that we are going to get 10 new drug targets over the next several years by partnering with this sophisticated group out of Zurich. They've already validated and shown that they can pull out receptors from our library, this summer being this first one that we announced in June. Now we think we can really start to accelerate, and we have a process now that you're going to see a major enhancement and acceleration to our pipeline and our discovery efforts. So while Efzofitimod is moving closer to commercialization with this trial, we also are going to be able to enhance and create so many more opportunities from our IP. This is also going to create more value for us, more business development opportunities, more ability to actually harness really the potential of what we think is a really large opportunity. Our founder, Dr. Schimmel, discovered these fragments. He views us in the same way as he did 15 years ago when he founded Alnylam, which was also built on a very novel kind of biology. And now Alnylam is nearly a $20 billion market cap company. He also discovered Repligen, elements around RNA biology with them many years ago. They're also a $10 billion market cap company. So our vision is kind of really opened up now that we have this proof of concept, and this collaboration is going to rapidly start to create more and more IP discoveries that we think tangibly will create value for the company and for shareholders, really in the near term here over the next couple of years.
Yeah, doctor, it sounds like you guys have been really busy moving forward on multiple fronts. So thank you for taking the time to come on and give everybody updates and some insight. Hope everybody continues to follow us along for this journey. Doctor, anything else you want to add before we go today?
No, we appreciate the support. We know these are tough times right now with world markets and a lot of macro conditions, but at aTyr, we really have the ability to move forward, keep our head down, execute, crisply get things done. We do so in a capital efficient manner. And I also think that when you stack us up to a number of biotech companies, look, we have good data, we have good investors, we're well resourced from a capital needs, and the opportunity continues to grow. So we're expecting big things here at aTyr over the next couple of years.
Perfect. Well, once again, doctor, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you everybody for watching, and please have a wonderful day.